In 1918 was the flu epidemic, and it killed 20 to 40 million people. 20 to 40 million. My grandfather's brother was one of those that died in this epidemic. I have a friend that I know who lost one son. He has 13 kids. His son was in the middle, and he died from a doctor's misdiagnosis. He is still devastated and upset about losing that one son, just as my grandparents were upset about losing their one son out of 11 children. To lose one is terrible. To lose a whole family will be devastating. And this is what we're talking about. 1918 flu epidemic. How many of you came to Toronto during the SARS epidemic? No one. Yet we lived there, and the people that died were all frontline nurses. None of the patients that had the disease, well, some of them died, but most of them were nurses that got the disease and died. My wife is a nurse. So when this is going on, every time she comes home, I would make her strip when she comes through the door. Yeah, 30 years of marriage, and you think that's going to happen? No, it does not happen. But we are careful when she comes home, because I used to get sick when I'd hug her. So we don't do that anymore, but we wait until she changes. Frontline nurses will die in these upcoming diseases. When the frontline nurses and doctors are all gone, who's going to look after the sick that come after that? Scary things can happen. You don't think it could happen. Look at this chart. Each of the gray lines going up and down is a recession year. The blue line is the one I want you to see, because the blue line represents how much money your regular banks have borrowed from the Federal Reserve. That's billions of dollars. Billions of dollars. This chart was given to me in December of 2007. On the news today, in March, the Federal Reserve is giving the banks more money to stay afloat. Something is cooking in your kitchen, and it's on fire. And yet you guys don't realize how dangerous you are, how much danger you are in. Look at that line. Look how high up it is. Go back to 1932 and look at the Great Depression. How high up did the bank borrowings go there? Or how about 1982? Another savings and loan debacle. How high did the bank loans go there? Not very high. Take a look at that blue line and see just how high up that is. Something is happening. And the reason I'm showing you this is so that you understand what's going on in your kitchen, because it's going to have an effect on the diseases that we are talking about in this third curse. So I'm going to read to you now the sabbatical years that occurred, and you're going to see how close they come to different dates on here. 1995 is one, and it doesn't match up with anything. 1988 is, and it's almost close to that line there. 1981 is another one, and I think we have a bingo with 1981. 1974, maybe another bingo year. I think that was, because I remember how depressed things were at that time. 1967, nope, nothing there. 1960, maybe, if we had each of these years marked out, maybe. 1953, close. 1946. What year is 1946? 1946 is a 49th year sabbatical year. 1947 would be a Jubilee year. And what happened in 1948? Israel became a country. The captives from Nazi Germany became a country. They were set free. Very symbolic event. 1939. Maybe we got another bingo. 1932. Definitely a bingo. The Great Depression. 1925, just off. 1918, yes. And 1911, yes. Each of the years I read to you are sabbatical years. Each of those gray lines are recessionary years. So we have another sabbatical year coming up in 2009, 2010. Right now we have an election going on in the United States. Is there going to be a recession this year? Well, they're already saying it is. But they're trying to stop it. Ben Bernanke has done something that is unbelievable. He's cut interest rates. He's cut interest rates, and look how much money is being borrowed. All that money must be paid back by somebody at some time. But he's cutting interest rates to keep the economy afloat. What's the price of oil at today? 107, 108, 109? Wow, it's going through the roof. When I left home, it was $100 a barrel. Senator Bernanke is cutting interest rates, but inflation isn't going up, right? Because the price of oil isn't going up. Oil is used to transport everything, everything. What Bernanke did not tell you about was the dramatic impact on the U.S. dollar, which is in free fall again. My Canadian dollar is worth more than yours. Good for us. He didn't mention the U.S. dollar index has just plunged to a brand new historic low, while foreign currencies soar. Nor did he mention that the widely watched CRB index is now at a record high. Oil has busted clear through a $100 barrier. Now you say it's 109 as of today. Gold is within a stone's throw of 1,000. Silver is rising even faster. Wheat has set record new highs. Corn is soaring. Soybeans are near $15 a bushel. And yet he is cutting interest rates when he should be raising it. Your kitchen is smoking. It's full of smoke, and there's trouble. Look how high up that line is. When you buy bonds, you are lending money to the government and getting it paid back to you at 4%. But when you get paid back in American dollars, you only get maybe 2% in actuality. The reason you buy bonds is so that your governments can continue to function, and they borrow your money and give you a set rate. If you don't have bonds for your government, which are bought by the Chinese, the Japanese, and the Arabs, and the Europeans, your government is going to fall. They're already trying to switch over to the euro. So that's going to put your dollar in trouble. If they don't buy bonds, what does that mean? Your government, your municipality, your city doesn't have money to pay the employees. So, how many of you are going to work for free? Nobody raises their hand. Look how high up that number is. That is terrifying. It's not just scary, it's terrifying. If you don't have money to pay your employees from the city, who's going to pick up your garbage? If you don't pick up the garbage, what will happen? A rodent infestation. If you don't pay your employees, who's going to look after your sewage treatment plant? Not me. And it's going to overflow and fill the river. And the guy down the river is going to pick up the sewage and suck it up into their water treatment plant and send it out to you in your tap. But the guy working there isn't working. He's not getting paid, so he doesn't care. In Walkerton, Ontario, a few years ago, we had somebody that just cheated the system a little bit and didn't do his job. A number of people turned on the tap one day, and 12 of them died just by drinking the water out of their tap. 12. That's not right, from somebody not doing their job. The reason I'm showing this chart and the reason I want you to look at it is because of that high number. Somebody must pay back that debt. And if your municipality doesn't do it, they go bankrupt. They can't pay their employees. Your sewage treatment isn't going to be taken care of. Your water treatment isn't going to be taken care of. And your garbage isn't going to be picked up. And the reason I show you that and suggest that and show you the potential danger that you're in is because of this.